How are you?
Hello, how are you, Al?
I'm good. I'm good. So Samandi, right?
Yes, sir.
Samandi or Samante?
Samandy.
You know, there was a band from London in the '70s, a black funk. I mean, English funk band, but it was all like African dudes
Yeah, that's who I'm
called
named
Samande,
after.
right? That famous song,
Bruh.
"Bra,"
Yup.
but it's all right. We can still go on.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Da da
alright.
dee da da da. That's Samandi.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
but I
actually
never met anybody with that name. That's why.
yeah, I'm glad you actually know who they are because a lot of people don't even know who they are. I know
That's like
B-boys
a
dance.
dance classic. You know, like anybody, like like DJs and people that are interested in like the roots of what would eventually become like hip hop culture.
Exactly.
That's like Apache and all those tunes like that,
Are
break beats and all that. Yeah.
are you tied into hip hop too? Do you feel like or are
Well,
you
I mean,
diverse in your
only as
taste?
much as like because it was relevant to my life. I mean,
Mm.
I played on Basquiat on Ramel V thing, with the beat bop.
Yeah, weren't you rapping on that?
No, I was playing percussion
You
on it.
were. You
I
know what?
never
I think
rapped. Can't rap.
somebody
I
said you
can't
were.
rap to save my life.
Well, you might have to come here and try. Come to Patchwork.
Shit, if I was facing a fucking firing squad and I had to rap, I'd probably end up on the floor.
Oh
In
Lord.
100 pieces. No, that was Ramel Z and this kid K Rob. That was a little kid.
Yeah. See, I was listening to it and I didn't know because I didn't talk to you either. So I was like, I don't know what his voice sounds like. But
Yeah, that became quite a collector's item. That one.
I see that you got your exhibit up that you posted on your
One
social
of
media.
one of several.
Mhm.
I'm doing a bunch of exhibits.
We were talking about the wet paint project, and I want to get a little bit more into that. I was reading something, and I know sometimes I can't trust everything I read, especially on social media.
You should never trust all. You should never, as a rule.
Yeah.
Things get reprinted and misconstrued and taken out of context and such and such.
Yeah. So, like, how did the wet paint project start? How did that concept come from or come to
Nothing. I
mind?
just like those signs, and I started doing anagrams with them. I said, damn, these are nice signs. The wet paint signs are, just the font
Mhm.
and the quality of the signs. It was good paper. It was just like I thought it was a waste. I was like, damn, these are nice. I want to do something with them. So
Yeah.
I started cutting them up and making anagrams. If I see them, they're throughout the subway system. They don't use them anywhere else. It's like
Yeah.
the MTA those are specific to the subway system. That particular font, size, etc.
So, how did you get
And I
the
just
the
but
numbers on? Like, cause I saw some that looked like
well,
numbers.
okay, that was phase two. It
Oh.
started with just those wet paint signs, those red letters.
Okay. Yeah.
It gives you 7 wet pain. That's because the T is, you can't count T twice, right?
Mhm.
It's a single letter, so it's 7 letters. Now, if you turn the W upside down
Mhm.
to make an M, you got 8 letters.
Mhm.
And then if you take the P and turn that upside down to make a lowercase d, you got 9 letters. So that's what I started doing, and I did that for a few years. It just because I mean, in terms of where that came from, it was just in my head.
It was just
I
an
was like, yo, I
idea.
want to play with. It was just an idea. I was like, yo,
Mhm.
I want to play with these things.
Cool. So, how many
And
words?
based on the fact, thousands of
Thousands
words.
of words by now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe not thousands. At least 900.
That's a lot.
We generated but no. Once you incorporate multiple signs, you could generate thousands of words with. I mean, if you can use a program to actually help you.
Oh wow.
It's an anagram generator, and you write something in there that uses, let's say, like 3 signs worth of letters. And anyway, forget about all that. It was unbelievable how many words I could do. Anyway, but I did just the wet paint
Mhm.
with the N and the D for a couple of years,
Mhm.
and then I started doing some work with this visual artist, Jilly Ballistic, and I was
With the
what I was doing was
photography?
putting yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me explain this. So what I was doing was basically putting like captions. I was creating captions for some of her images.
Yeah.
And we were doing this, we were putting them up on the subways. You know, it's all illegal. It's just, you know, we were just doing it. Street art.
Yeah.
And then I started feeling limited because you know, what I could say with just 9 letters is very limiting. I mean, you can't really express certain ideas with such few characters.
Mm-hmm.
So those numbers and letters with the black circle and stuff, or some of them are colored.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the trains. Those are the icons for the trains, and the names or numbers of the trains.
Yeah.
In the New York City subway system. So I was like, all right, that's fair game. I can use these because it's all related to the subway. I made sort of rules for myself. You know, I can't make up my own. I don't like, if I need a K, there's no such a thing as a K train, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just go and cut up, sticks from another letter to form a K. I can't do that as far as I'm concerned, because that would be cheating. So what I do is, I work around it. I have to say something that doesn't use a K. You know what I mean? It's like a one-legged race. It's what they call constrained writing.
Very limited.
It's like, there's a history of constrained writing where people will, like do poetry and they'll take like all the E's out, and then you have to try to write something without no E's. You know what I'm saying? This is a discipline. This is an actual thing. It's a writing style.
Okay.
Anyway,
so research.
So that's where those letters come from. Those the letters that you see, like black and with the R's, the S, all those other letters are the train, the names of the trains, and including the numbers.
Yeah.
And the only numbers that I use are the 2 and the 4, because those are the only numbers that can be used as words.
That's true.
Writing to you, ask for, you know what I'm saying? It's
that makes
those
sense.
Those are words as well as numbers. So that's the only reason I use it.
I also I reached out to some people too that I know that are fans of yours. And
Yeah.
I asked them if they had any questions for you, so kind of like a mini Q&A.
Sure.
And DeMonte Ballard wanted to know how you dealt with creative slumps, if you even had any.
Oh hell yeah, I had years. I was a heroin addict for 17 years.
Oh wow.
And I went up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, sometimes I would go into like creating and not creating for long periods.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did, there's always some positive that you get out of a shitty experience, because that was a rough time in my life, but I still created. Mm-hmm. And what I did notice about that period is that I discovered the creative slump was to find a new way to do something, find a different medium. I started carving wood. I did this. I paint. I was
just to keep creative.
Even though I was a mess. Mm-hmm. But the thing was that I would change it up. I wasn't doing any language art per se, because mine wasn't clear enough. But I was like I said, I was carving wood or making like wooden toys and doing simple things for myself. Mm-hmm. But that was the point is that to change it, to find a different
medium or
vehicle in terms of creating. Mm-hmm. Like if you start making movies, if you draw, play with paint, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, to define in terms of creative slumps, find a new toy is basically it.
Do you ever display that, any of your wood carvings or anything, or you just keep that personal?
I have, but it's not really something that I push heavily. Yeah. I was making altars during that period too, which are, some of them are really actually quite beautiful, mm-hmm. and I sold quite a few of them. But
you said altars?
Yeah, I don't. little like these. They're actually like almost like furniture. Or a cabinet, but it would be a miniature little cabinet where you would, I don't know, put a candle or
Okay.
pictures or whatever. So it's like your own little personal little thing,
Okay, I googled it
where
and I
it's
see it.
like a kind of a ritualistic implement,
Yeah, I see
something
when
that you
like
would use.
Catholics use it a lot.
People have funny. Like, I mean, it's a human thing, right?
Oh, okay.
You might even have a little corner in your apartment where you decorate with flowers and a picture. It's just, and that in and of itself is already an altar. So the
Mm.
idea of an altar, I made these like, one that you could actually have that hangs on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and it was this little it looks like like a church kind of thing,
Yeah. Okay.
where you would have a saint or something inside of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have a computer pulled up and I actually googled it because I like if I don't know, I want to look and try to find it.
Well, okay. Now
Yeah.
look at what you might call another word for it is a reliquary.
Let
Some
me.
place where you will put like special little items
Oh,
and some things that mean something to you.
do you know when you mentioned like you did heroin for 17 years? Like
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about that, but I didn't want to go into like I didn't I know it's a sensitive subject to some people because I had two friends that died from heroin. One told me recently that he got on heroin, so I don't know how to really, that's tough. But do
Well,
you?
that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
so
it's not. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing cool about it
at
because
all.
it's very isolating. It's
Yeah.
not like hip. It's just been around forever.
It's just, it's like when people, he got involved with the fame thing and now he's a recording artist himself and it bothers me that he's doing that. But I mean, if you being that you're clean, do you want to say anything to anybody that's listening that might have a struggle with it?
Yeah, don't believe the lie. You're gonna end up. It just it takes everything from you, and you turn around and you're like, you were 25 and now you're 45 and your life is gone to shit. Your friends are moving on with their lives. They got children, homes, and you're still chasing like this lie that shit doesn't it ain't never gonna, whatever you're chasing, you're not gonna find it. Not by shooting hell.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna pray he listens to this. So.
Well, I mean, I've been homeless.
Mm.
I did. I've been locked up. I kicked dope on Rikers Island twice.
Oh wow.
Um, I've been arrested like 8 times. And I was a straight up junkie.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you some bad stories. But
Yeah.
it wasn't. There was nothing. There was nothing like glamorous about that shit.
Totally dig it.
Especially when it takes its toll on you.
Physically and
I'm in the
mentally, all
process
that.
now.
You said what?
Physically, and yeah, I mean, it's suffering after suffering on top of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the process now because of my like, I mean, now I'm able to do this because I've been clean almost 7 years and I'm getting my life together.
Nice.
But I'm getting all like implants, my dental implants in because I trashed my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I have to actually still repair the damage that I did, for a good chunk of my life.
Damn. Well, it's gonna get better. 7 years is plenty of time to
Oh no,
recover.
I mean, yeah, it's on an upswing.
Yeah.
I have a very positive outlook about the future, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's still, you know what I'm saying? It left I still got battle scars. It left its you don't just walk away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Sorry, Al.
But yeah, but one has to move forward in your life, and that's when you're stuck in that kind of a thing. You're not moving forward. You're just stuck. It's like it's like if you're going down the road and you hit some mud, and your car ain't moving.
Yeah, you're in that sunken place, and what they've been saying lately.
Yeah.
So.
And look what happened to Jean. Jean couldn't pull out.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm scared of. What's gonna happen to my friends. So if any heroin
Well, that's what
addicts
happened.
now, hello.
that's what happens. You either pull out, you stay the same and die, or and then it's a question of how long you're gonna suffer.
When he passed from his overdose, did that affect you in a positive or negative manner in that?
I hadn't even listened to this. This is how crazy the addiction is. I wasn't shooting heroin back then. I was just getting high, drinking. I was always kind of out of control.
Yeah.
But it was about 3 years later that I got like strung out. That I realized I was
Oh wow! After he passed.
Yeah, it was about 3 years that I ended up getting strung out on heroin.
That fucking sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But you don't learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. We think, but sometimes. Yeah, we think.
I mean, unless you're smart like that.
But
some people do. Some people are clever. They say, "Oh, I ain't doing that shit. Whoever is this guy?" But not me. I see I see somebody stick their hand in the fire, and I got to go and see if it's really hot. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened.
Yeah, I had my days of getting involved with smoking crack, lace, weed and all that stuff.
Well, there you go. That shit is it's the same. Man.
Exactly.
Crack is horrible.
Yeah, like it
just stress you out big time.
Yes.
All you want to think about is that.
Getting high.
That's no good. That's no good.
A lot of people, and that's why, me and things happen in my life that, me personally, that caused me to, just break away from that. I was in a bad relationship and I was influenced from an ex. So, it's just like, man, if anybody's listening, stay away from that shit.
When a partner gets, their supposed loved one into some death activity,
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
It's like it's a death activity. It's not. You're not like it's not promoting life. You know what I'm saying? You're running in the opposite direction, trying to kill yourself without even realizing.
Exactly. That's how my friend got into it. His little model girlfriend got him involved, and I was like, damn. So I don't know. I just hope he gets out of it. Okay, we gotta switch the subject. But
yeah.
Let's leave this. I read that you prior to going to rehab, that's when you were tearing down the wet paint signs. Is that true?
I started, in 2009. I started.
Okay.
But I wasn't really getting all that productive with it until I came back, which was in 2011. So see, I went to rehab in 2010, came back in 2011, and and that's when I really started to lay in heavy with it. But I was, I was looking for something, something to do with my life. Now that I wasn't, I wasn't busy getting high anymore. So I was trying to rebuild myself, and that was a good vehicle for me.
Well, I'm glad. Everything's on the up and up for you right now. Oh, and another Q&A from S Class. He asked me 2 questions. So, he wants to know if you were prepared to recognize, if you guys were prepared to recognize your influence with SAMO.
If we were prepared?
Yeah. So I guess if you guys...
If we saw it coming?
Yeah.
Is that what he means? Oh, hell no. No.
So y'all thought this is fun stuff for you guys and let it go and just graffiti?
We had some ambition about it. But we were like real hedonistic teenagers. We lived live for today kind of life,
Yeah.
It was totally. We didn't think about the future,
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Like, we're just doing this.
What's that,
Yeah.
Going to college, what's that, Why would you do that? That's going to take away time from me, having a good time. It wasn't all that conscious in terms of like, oh, we're going to... See, that's another belief of mine. I think that if you go into something, if you go into a project, or an undertaking, no matter what it is in your life, and you have this attitude of like, oh, this is going to be epic. I'm going to make history. That shit ain't going to happen.
That's just
okay.
Yeah,
that's just got to be organic. It's got to be let it happen by itself. And otherwise it's just you make it. You're fronting and you're making believe and you're just hoping. But we were. We were just we were living our lives. So prepared? No, I wouldn't say we were prepared or we didn't have a clue about it.
Okay, and another question he says is, how much of an influence was the New York sound of hip hop and punk in your art?
Well, those are two different periods in time.
Yeah.
Punk. We were more punk when we were doing SAMO.
Oh, really? Aw.
Oh, hell yeah. Because it was 77. Where Jean was like 16, I was like 18. Okay. And that's what was happening. And that's what we were attracted to,
Yeah. Did you ever go to CB's?
All the time.
Aw.
That shit don't even exist anymore. CB's has been long gone. That shit got not. It's like John Lovato. A clothing store. That shit's way gone.
It's depressing. I remember they should have kept it, but
Well, things come to an end, right?
Yeah. So, another person, Jade, she wants to know, the tag on your website is as an end to mind-wash religion, nowhere politics and bogus philosophies. And in what?
Right, that's an old SAMO.
Okay, she was like, in what ways do you feel your art communicates this message?
Well, it still does. I still do.
If you look at it,
it's like, well, if you look at it, it's all it is. I mean, it's just like, it's very cynical. I don't adhere to any like political party or anything. I think everybody's a liar. I mean, I think, it's just, it's completely cynical and I try not to take it seriously, like trying to promote like being a, like bah humbug about things. But it's just a lot of it is very humorous, I think, and people, people find it humorous, but it's certainly is cynical. In other words, it doesn't, it doesn't adhere to many, like belief system really, other than not believing. I was going to answer your question. This will be a good time to answer the question you asked me about what do I think about today.
Today. Yeah. Okay.
And that was that I believe that people we're at a point where there's a lot of this particular generation is really distracted, and that there's all this information out there, but it becomes misinformation. I think a lot of people have snippets, bits and pieces of stuff, and they really have the full picture. I'm talking about the young generation.
Yeah, like the millennials.
And it's millennials, and that it's. I mean, it only goes the fact that and other people as well. I mean, the fact that we have Donald Trump as president of the United States it kind of like says a lot. It says a lot about us. Like that we're kind of like the biggest suckers on the planet. We can get hustled into anything as a people, Americans. You can tell us the Brooklyn Bridge at this point.
I feel like this is like the United States of consumerism anyway. So it's all based on that.
It has been. That has been for a long time, and that's part of the distraction. People are more motivated by materialism than they are by any kind of like more intellectual stimulation or just it's very. We're very superficial.
Yeah.
The culture of materialism.
It's real obvious, even in social media, what people adhere to. And I test them sometimes. It's like, okay, you guys are gonna like a selfie, but when I post some real shit, you guys aren't gonna. I hear crickets. Personally, that's what I feel like it's a problem. It's like people are more focused on the knowing about people and the like you say, the distractions versus what's necessary and just even knowing yourself.
Right, there's a lack of depth, really. You know, it's just like real shallow and stuff. And that creates a culture of like disposability. You know, it's missing substance. European history. I mean, Europe has a like thousands of year history, and we have like a couple of hundred years. And it's just and we're kind of like we're not catching up at all.
The history out here in the United States is kind of like fucked up too. I'm from Jamestown. I don't know if you're familiar with Jamestown and Colonial Williamsburg, but
Jamestown, isn't that Massachusetts? No, where's Jamestown?
in Virginia.
Yeah. Virginia.
Yeah. So
was there like a massacre or something that occurred in Jamestown?
No, Jamestown's where like 1607, Pocahontas, all that stuff. Like the Mayflower, the slave ships, all that. So they still have people employed as slaves at like the road that or little highway that I grew up on. It has like 5 plantations on there. So
wow, okay, so it's one of those places.
Yes. That's why I needed people like y'all to keep me focused.
You live there now?
Hell no. I'm in Atlanta. That's where we're
You're in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I like, wait a second. What?
Yeah, I moved immediately after high school and stuff. Like I moved to Richmond, then I moved to Brooklyn, and then I moved to Jersey Shore to just get the hell away from there. And I wanted to start a life as an art teacher in New York public schools. So I was actually living near, I went to LIU like I don't know if you remember, but also lived in Bay Ridge and stuff like that.
Right, and I remember you mentioned you went to Long Island University.
Mm-hmm. I was a Pratt reject.
That's like the campus was down over by Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah, right across the street from Juniors.
I'm always down there. I'm constantly over in that area.
Oh man, I miss it. It looks so different now.
I'll tell you what, New York looks real crazy different every like 10 years.
I'm noticing.
Every 10 years, you're like, what's up?
It's like, what happened?
This skyline gets crazy. I just got into this show at the last minute on the 69th floor of one of the World Trade Center buildings, the number 4 tower.
Oh wow!
And the view is sick. It is crazy view. It's crazy. I mean, what you can see from the 69th floor.
Oh wow!
But I'm looking around and it's like the skyline is just totally different from let's say when it's from the 70s or the 80s and
you were growing up.
Every couple of decades, yeah, it's insane.
How did 9/11 influence you? Because I was going to LIU when that happened.
Well, I was kind of numbed out. I was definitely still strung out during 9/11. So
oh.
It's just like, I was kind of like numb to the whole thing.
Yeah.
More worried about my personal crisis than the rest of the planet, kind of thing,
Yeah.
I mean, we were affected by it, but I wasn't all that like socially conscious of oh no, and although I did think when I saw I saw the towers fall.
Me too.
And I thought we were at war, basically.
I didn't. I had the TV on and looking out the 14th floor, and so I was like, "What the fuck?" And like it's right across from the Manhattan Bridge, or downtown Brooklyn where I was at, and so it was just crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy, right? I was in Lower Manhattan. I was working on Prince Street doing a job over there.
Oh wow!
And they evacuated all the contractors working in the building. But we were up on the terrace and we saw the first tower fall. I mean, it crumbled. I was like, holy shit, this is like for real, man.
Yeah, I saw it when the second, when it was smoking. No, what? I think it was smoking from the first tower, and then I saw like nothing but smoke, like where the plane first hit, supposedly.
Yeah. Oh, that big hole that looked like a skull. You ever see those photographs?
No, I did not.
It looked like a skull, man. It was crazy. That shit was. I mean, it was, and the sky was perfectly clear that day. It was like crazy clear. September, crisp, beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Yeah. Then the rest didn't. After that, New York smelled like death. You could smell it.
I know, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like a war zone, like an honest for real war zone.
Yeah, I never dealt. Well, nobody dealt with that shit in their life. Like, let's be real. Like nobody.
Well, it was. I mean, I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure that to some degree I was traumatized, but I was so strung out that shit was like probably in the back of my. You know what I'm saying? It was like more subconscious.
Yeah.
I'm sure I got more depressed.
Yeah, but
because the fact is that it was pretty bleak. There was nothing cheerful or benign about the situation. It was like it was over the top. They just knocked down the fucking Twin Towers. It doesn't happen every day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that time period is probably So, shit, I have a couple more questions. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, but
hey, shoot.
Do you feel that street art has been a lost element of hip hop as of this generation?
You know, I don't know if it's an element or ever one, can exist without the other and all that, but I mean, what happens is these things occur at the same time and they influence each other. Then they're entities unto themselves, and then people want to say that they're an element of. I mean, I don't know if it's so much that. It's just there's a relation because they coexist, and then one might influence the other, but it doesn't make it like. I don't know if they were isolated, which is hypothetical. I hate hypothetical questions because it's kind of like it's like meaningless to me. It's like if your mother had balls, she'd be your father. Like that shit. But that didn't happen. So what? So why are we even?
I don't know.
Oxygen talking about it, right?
Next question. Next question. Shit. No. Do you have any current inspirations?
Is that what wait, hold on. Did you say aspiration or inspiration?
Inspirations. Like, are there any other artists or even young artists that,
Oh, yeah. I mean, today I saw a young guy, this guy, Bismology, that did this really crazy big carving of styrofoam. And I thought, I was like, this dude kicks ass. This guy's, he's a young guy. He's I don't know about millennial, but he's probably in his 30s. To me, that's young.
Yeah.
He's in his 30s. The dude was doing some stuff that was like really different from everybody else's thing. It was just so inspiring to see this guy doing, and working at his craft. And it's inspiring. I see a guy like that. I'm like, hey, it's not just another guy doing murals, because that shit gets. Let me tell you, I can't look at it. I mean, there's so many damn murals, and then everybody's a mural painter, and then some of them are like, oh, I'm gonna paint a flower or some dumb, boring shit that is meaningless. And then you see somebody who can do something that's gonna say something or kick ass or. And it's inspiring,
Yeah.
because of the fact that there's so much shit that's, to me, benign and mediocre.
Yeah.
So yes, I was totally, when I saw that, I was like, yo, this shit is beautiful,
I totally understand.
And it was, that was inspiring to me. So yes, every day, hopefully, I mean, it's not every day, but I mean, like, it's more often than not, because I see a lot of work. And I try to be open about it. I try not to be like, oh, that sucks, I try not to look down on, or try to understand, I'm not the same asshole that I was, say, like 15 years ago. I'd be, oh, fuck that, So now it's, and as a result, it's easier to be inspired,
Understood.
we gotta remain open and teachable. Otherwise, you ain't gonna be inspired.
And that's where you fall off. No.
What's that?
I said that's when you fall off. Is when you feel like you're not teachable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally dig that. Oh, I have another question. What if somebody wants to book you for a show? How can they go about doing that?
You don't book me. You just make me an offer of where the conditions and where the show is going to be, the space, etc., and just send me an email and invitation really, and we could talk about it.
Okay. Do you have any last words?
Not really, but I appreciate you reaching out and the folks that had questions. Thank you for showing love and interest.